Here's my Rotary bell for today.
Nice.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm Deb Nygaard, current president. And would you all please mute yourselves? And we will say the flag pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much. And I think, Hyun, you have the invocation today?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want you to think about that back when I was 4 years old. There was an armed volunteer, military-like young men with a police uniform, came to my aunt's house with guns and tried to take me so they could shoot me to death and then bury at the dumpsters. So as a 4 years old, I went through immense fear, and that scar never left me. It still stays with me. 7 years ago, that had happened. And so when I saw the Wednesday, what had happened, and there was a sign of 6 million people was not enough and all that, I was really fearful. So what I'm gonna do today at Invocation, I wanted to read this poem for us to think about where we are at in this country, where we're gonna go. It's not political, it's a personal, with my heart near me. So let me read this poem. A winter solstice, excuse my accent, Solstice Prayer by Edward Hayes. The dark shadow of space leans over us. We are mindful that the darkness of greed, exploitation, and hatred also lengthens its shadow over our small planet Earth. As our ancestors feared death and evil and all the dark powers of winter, we fear that the darkness of war, discrimination, and selfishness may doom us and our planet to an eternal winter. Let's just pray to our God. Dear God, please help us to get out of this winter and get into the blossoming spring to enjoy our life. Amen.
Thank you, Hyun, for sharing from your heart. Wish I could go hold that 4-year-old girl and keep her safe.
Thank you.
Kathy, would you pop up our history picture real quick? And then we'll do some announcements after that. We've got people lined up for announcements. So, and really enjoying sharing these little moments of history. And here's an article from the Roseville Review in 1986. And Paul Harris Fellowship Awards were presented to 3 high school teachers. And these teachers had helped the Roseville Club with youth programs, including the International Youth Exchange, Model United Nations Assembly, St. Paul Youth Conference, World Affairs Seminar, and other Rotary-sponsored youth activities. So the recipients were Kay Jensen from Mounds View High School, Sally Pritchard from Frankie Kellogg High School, and Carolyn Johnson from Alexander Ramsey High School. So I thought that was kind of fun. Cute community members being honored. All right, I think we've got several announcements. District Governor Ed Merrick, would you care to begin?
I would be delighted to. Thank you. And hello, everybody. Nice to be with you. I'm going to quickly share a screen here. I hope this works the way it's supposed to. Did it? Are you seeing?
It has, I haven't seen, oh, here it goes.
Okay.
Now we got it.
Great. So thank you again, President Deb. It's my distinct pleasure to join you in your club today to express our thanks and congratulations on your foundation accomplishments from last year. Your support helped the district have its highest total for the annual fund with over $445,000 raised. And we also achieved our goal for End Polio Now. So to present, the first award is for your support of End Polio Now with a level of giving of at least $1,500. Thank you for that. You led the medium-sized clubs in per capita giving. So you came out number one, I know Roseville would, for per capita giving with the medium-sized clubs. And that placed you number 3 in the entire district. So congratulations on that. And of course, you led you were first place for total giving for the medium clubs as well. Thank you for your generosity and support to the Rotary Foundation and for all you do, and Polio Now, but for all you do in the community and you know, the great work you're doing with the other 2 districts. David Cray and I were just talking about that earlier again with the Suburban Ramsey Emergency Coalition. And do sign up. If you haven't, do sign up for midterm on the 25th because Kent Peterson's going to do a tell-all. So thank you again very much. I'm going to sign off and head out of here. I've got other work to do with the district. So have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much. We're pleased to hear those great results. So, and thanks to everybody who contributed. Very exciting. All right, Valby, would you like to go next? If you could unmute yourself.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yep, we got you.
All right, I am so proud to be able to provide district matching funds for Anne's solar project in Ethiopia. We were very impressed when she came to our committee and did a great job. Quite frankly, an ambitious program at $7,500. And the district will provide a check in matching dollars of $3,250. The project is a good one. I'm so happy that other clubs in the district, in fact, 4 other clubs in the district contributed. So we like to see that because it shows the power of our Rotary organization. I also was happy that there was a cooperating organization. Many times when you're working in an international project, it's good to have people on the ground in country. So I trust that the nonprofit in Addis Ababa will guide this thing along. I know that with solar lights, you know, there's quite a variety of things that you can buy. We're of course interested in longevity, in sustainability. So I trust that with these dollars, you could shop around and buy what is culturally appropriate, you know, is supported in country there. And I would ask that you follow up with us after a year or 2 on the performance of these. Many times our committee is happy to finance solar, but sometimes, you know, things just don't work out or they fade or the equipment isn't reliable. We want to hear some feedback from you. So I'm going to ask that of you long term. So officially, I wish I was here to hand over a big fat check, but that check is in your hands. You certainly have got a great project, and we look forward to hearing some results. Thank you.
Ane, did you want to respond?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to say, you know, when I've been asked first, to submit any project, of course, I had a lot of project that was lined up, but the issue of electricity was on number one for me, because that wasn't really on the plate when I went back home, as I present what I did to my club. But the community asked directly that time. So I was like, oh, this is what they want, but I didn't know what to do with it. No, I don't really have that much information. It was like a big request and responsibility that a community asking an individual. But I came back with hope to do something. I didn't know what that something would be. And when Rosedale, I been asked, I was like, okay, solar light can be a solution, but what kind of a solar light? I didn't even know. I have to scramble, search, and try to read, contact people. But because of a great people, all of you, and I can start with Ted, who encouraged me first, and Bradley, and also Margie. And I know I am a patient person naturally, but they're patient to walk me through all and to encourage me and to stay on focus, because I'm new for our club, that. I'm also new for all the form, like how to fill it, how to contact it, what it means, grant. It's really big. But when you have a people like Margie and Bradley, I can only say I'm so proud to be a Rotarian now. And there was a time I say, I'm going to give up. I don't even know what to do next. They were saying, no, you're not going to give up, and we will help you. And they went, to contact with different Rotary Club and encourage me, make me feel, I'm also part of it. And also a lot of Rotary Club who I contact was very happy to respond. And that gave me a hope that I always carry. There is an abundance of, human being out there who want to help the people that they don't know. And now I can say, fully, I'm a proud Rotarian. Thank you so much. And I wish Margie was here, and because I really want to say thank you to her and Bradley in front of all my, Rotary Club. And it wasn't easy, but now with everybody's participation, we have the fund. Okay. And the cooperating organization on the ground also so excited. They are working, collecting information, and to make sure every pennies go to where it needed. Okay. And I believe on accountability. I'm a finance person working for humanitarian organization. You know that. I want to make sure these people really get what they want and come back with a full report, because this is the beginning for me. There's a lot of good thing we will do together in this world, not only for only this solar light, but there is a lot of need, that there is people who really need us in this world. And I'm really happy and very excited and encouraged. Thank you, Valdi, for also coming today, because Margie was asking to come, but finally Valdi is here. And I also heard you are so excited and very, have more knowledge about solar light. I would love to contact you and give you a report, not in the next year or 2 years, maybe, who knows, before the next 6-7 months, if COVID became history. But that's all I want to say. Thank you. Thank you.
We're really proud of you and everything that you have learned. Yes, thank you for bringing this project to us. We're so happy to get behind you on this. It's a great project. So Very proud of
you.
you. Glad you're a member here. All right, other announcements?
Can I make one?
Please do.
I'll make it real quick here on the coalition we talked about earlier, but we're going to continue to be here as long as our neighbors need us to provide their assistance. And so we are going to, I'm going to send out an email here, or actually Kathy will send out an email with an announcement about grant opportunities. So if anybody knows of an organization that's helping people in COVID, please let them know about the money that's available here through grants. And we've, so far this year, last year we raised $163,035 in total contributions. We paid out $110,000 in 20 grants, and we have $53,000 to give in future grants, but we need to get the word out to make sure it gets into the right hands. And one last thing, one of our members mentioned before the meeting started that he got his $600 stimulus check, and he was grateful that he didn't need the assistance himself, but that he would like to help others who do need assistance. So he was considering making a contribution to the Suburban Ramsey Emergency Coalition, or I guess you could, Rotary Foundation would definitely be interested in that $600 also, if that would be something you'd be considering. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Deb, may I make a quick announcement?
Yes.
Last Thursday night, I met with a group of people called Resilient Roseville, and they're looking at climate change activities throughout Roseville, and they're networking. They're part of the League of Women Voters, and there's other aspects to that. What was fascinating to me is I had an opportunity to share what Rotary International, what Roseville Rotary is about, and none of them were familiar with Roseville Rotary. And so I talked about the projects that we get ourselves involved in, from Taste of Rosefest to the emergency coalition David was just talking about, to the Arboretum and the school systems, the library, and so on. And it was a wonderful way to just share with a group of people what else is happening in Roseville from a civic-minded organization. So it was fun to do that on behalf of Rotary.
Well, thank you. That's wonderful. All right. Well, Jenny, can I turn the platform over to you and Jan?
Yes, I would like to introduce myself, Jenny Hedall, and Jan. I think Jan is here as well. So the two of us today are just going to talk through the next steps for the visioning process. So thank you, Kathy. Kathy's going to be running this slideshow for me today.
Yes, and I'm here too. I am, just so you know, Jenny, I am here too.
Thank you. Hi, Jan. Jan is going to jump in as he sees fit as well and be our sounding board. So thanks. Today, we're going to have fun. Today, I just want to say thank you right off the bat and congratulations to Ane. That's pretty amazing. And I love what you said about people want to help and having the hope for the future. And it reminded me of this little tiny card. You can't really see it, but I'll read what it says on it. It was something that we passed out to some of our staff and our donors this year. And I thought it would just be really applicable to our group as well as we think about visioning and the future. So what it says is, to plant a seed today is to believe in tomorrow. And so what we're doing today is we're planting some seeds about what the club is going to look like 3 years from now, which is going to be, we're a very exciting club right now. We've got a lot of really wonderful things going on, and so much so that even, Lynn was able to explain that just to some friends and build community just recently. So we've got some great things. But so we're going to talk a little bit about moving from where we were after the visioning session that Deb presented on. So let's go to the next slide. All right, so as a reminder, our Rotary Vision in the international setting here is, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Next slide. And what we talked about locally is that we have developed most recently a club motto, which is creating partnerships, transforming lives. And so in everything we think, say, and do, these are kind of the key 4 words that we want to remember: creating partnerships, transforming lives. Next slide. Because what that feeds into is our larger club vision statement. And these are, I'm just bringing back up so we can remember, do some stage setting here. But Roseville Rotary sees a world where lives are transformed through partnerships, leadership, and service, both locally and globally. Next slide. So to give you an idea of what today is all about, it's really continuing to shape how we're developing this master plan and how we're going to get to where we want to be for our visioning in 3 years. So we had a couple weeks ago, Deb shared the number 1. We got the results. We shared them at a club session. Today, what we're doing is Jan and I put together kind of the process on how we can develop that master plan. And then following this, we're going to have small groups meet together to create that vision, to set those goals, develop those action plans. And
Sarah
then,
and Jenny,
yeah,
I think that we want to, the idea of process, let's just make sure that everybody knows that process is what they're the part of, so that as we talk about process, we're talking about member actions.
exactly.
That's how I jump in. I hope that that's okay.
Absolutely.
Also, Kathy, I'm not seeing the slides, so.
Did you check? Can anyone else, is everyone else seeing the slides?
I see.
can see them.
Oh, they were.
Yes, I can see it.
All right.
I can see him.
Yeah, I can see it too.
I can see him, but maybe I suggest to Lynn, because sometimes it's hiding behind something else I'm looking at on I have 2 screens. And so I sometimes don't see the slides also, but I'm seeing it now.
Look
But
for the
I don't
blue
know,
cam on your bottom bar.
I use iPad, it's different, so.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
We could maybe email them to you. If that would be helpful. Kathy, maybe you can.
I got on, thank you.
okay.
Okay. All right. And this is interactive, right? We do want everybody to be engaged. Will take all of us engaged to actually move from where we are now to meeting our vision and being successful. So appreciate everybody's comments and questions so far. So the last piece here is we will develop this action plan, and we being the club, putting all of that into a master plan. Let's go to the next slide. So through the visioning process, there were about 10 different questions we answered, and each of those questions, they became priorities. And out of those priorities, there was kind of a 1, 2, and 3. So it really became about 30 different kind of priorities that we hoped that we could accomplish the group over the next 3 years. So part of creating this master plan is that we take those 30 and we refine them. We set specific goals. We determine which ones we can do this year, year 2, year 3, assess them each year and make sure that, yep, we're on track, things are going well. What do we need to tweak? What do we need to change? It's a strategic plan here, and we're setting forward those 3-year goals. And then the last part of creating the master plan is really having what we're calling a stream team, because we've got the avenues of service, the Rotary River, as Jan likes to say. And in that Rotary River, we're going down the stream. And so we're making stream teams. So there's going to be a group of people working together to really refine, develop these goals, and identify how we will be holding ourselves responsible. So let's look a little bit more into these stream teams and how Jan and I thought they might be organized. Let's go to the next slide. So a stream team would be consistent with the things that you might already be doing, things that you really enjoy. Just like we want to make this fun. We want to have people engaged, find ways that we can become an even stronger club than we are now, strengthen your relationship with the club, strengthen the community's relationship with the club. And so where we'll start doing that is by starting with the current board, starting with those who are already assigned any sort of leadership roles. And then from that, we've come up with sort of 4 streams of service, 4 stream areas. And there will be a kind of a leader, a group around each one of those streams. And then those streams will fall into this master plan. And let's go to the next slide. So the first stream of service is retention. And this is really where, as we think about any of our activities that we want to do, the ways in which we want to strengthen our club, it always is going to come back to our members. How engaged are we? How many members do we have? Are those who are here participating on a regular basis? And that can be in the way in which meets their needs and the club needs. So if you're somebody who loves one avenue of the club, we want you to very much get even a little bit more invested in that area. If there's an area in the club which you're less passionate about, we're not asking you to all of a sudden dive deep there, but just stay in the area, stay in your stream of service that feels really right for you. So the stream team number 1 is going to be looking at member retention. And in the club vision priorities, these are the questions that were asked of us. The club attributes. So what are the characteristics of the club? One of the ones that came out from the visioning session was that we were inclusive of all of our members, and all members felt that. It was also around that we provided mentoring opportunities to our club members so they could find where they might want to advocate for their leadership. That people felt connected within the club, both as members as well as into the community. And that we were involved in service projects. Yes.
Sorry, Jenny. Also, members can look at this and say, well, I want to be a member because I've been doing this for a while. So it's both as we help new members, but also help other members who might want to try a little bit of sharing what they have developed from Rotary. I'll say I'm sorry from now on as I start, Jenny, so that I don't interrupt you too much. Sorry.
That's fine. All right, let's go to the next one. So the second stream of service is around club structure and size. So this was really interesting as we did our club visioning, because what we heard is that we heard the request for and the interest in more service projects, which I think we're all feeling that right now when we're stuck in places where we can't get out into the community as much as we would have liked. So, but there was a real want and desire to have more service project options. There was also a desire to feel that we had more social options as a club, in addition to having meetings. So part of this goal would be actually to look at how are our club meetings structured. Right now, we meet once a week on Mondays for an hour, roughly, and they're basically presentations. Doesn't have to be that way. In 3 years, the club might look different based on what the goals of this Stream 2 group looks at, as well as club size. Again, that comes back to retention of members, but also there was a strong goal to grow the club. And so in 1 year, I don't know that we can grow from our current size to triple, double, but there definitely is an opportunity for us to grow. Jan, do you have anything to add?
I do. I was in the club structuring. Part of those discussions were things like maybe 2 meetings a month that are like what we have now. And the other 2 meetings might be, one might be electronic, they might be evening meetings, they might be a work session. Just looking at changing the structure to fit more people's ability to participate as well. You know, sometimes people can't get away at lunchtime, or they can do it very briefly for a meeting, but maybe they'd like to have an evening conversation or even a project or something like that.
Absolutely. So all of these streams of service were just narrowed down from what the visioning session group started with. And so this is just the next step in that process. Let's go to the third one. So the third one is around community engagement. And this encompasses a lot. This encompasses our public image. This encompasses our club service, our international service, our youth service, community service. It can encompass district grants, global grants. It's how we engage in the community and how is the community reflecting back. And it also can include Taste of Rosefest as a public image place as well. So this is going to be a group that affects a lot of different already institutionalized pieces of the club. And so we'll come together to just start setting some of those additional priorities, looking at that 3-year vision. What does school engagement look like? What does the Taste of Rosefest look like in terms of community awareness of Rotary? How can we serve our community in ways that meet the needs of the community as well as meeting the needs of our club members? Jan, you want to add here?
I think you've done a great job.
Thank you. All right, let's go to the next one. The last stream of service is fundraising. And here, this is around things like E-Ray, every Rotarian every year donating to the Rotary Foundation. It's around what are the club fundraisers that we currently have and what are the ones that we said in 3 years we want this to be a top priority. As many of you can guess, Taste of Rosefest stayed at that top priority level. But there was also a suggestion that came up around, do we have a, oh gosh, now I'm forgetting it.
It was a movie fest.
Film festival, yes, yes. And so there's some ideas that came out already, and this stream team has the luxury and exciting piece to help look at how we can get there. How might we put together the Taste of Rosefest so it raises 1.5 times as it does right now, or twice as much as it does right now. So we have the funds so we can go out and support the community, whether that's locally or internationally. So the next step is really about how do we set our goals? And just a reminder, there were the 4 streams of service. There's member retention, there's club structure and size, community engagement, and fundraising. So the district and the visioning team was generous enough to come up with what they call the master plan. And really what it's all about is, where are we going? So this is a very simple, although it's kind of maybe hard to see here, it's actually a fairly simple plan that lays out 3 years. Year 1, what's our goal for the year? Who's going to help lead it? Year 2, our goal, who's going to help lead it? Goal, who's going to help lead it for year 3? And a little tweak to this program that Jan and I thought of is that on a regular basis, we can use what is a red, yellow, green measurement tool. Very simple. Red being it either hasn't been started, the goal hasn't been started, or we're struggling in an area there. Yellow, it's been started, but we're maybe not too far down the road. Green, we're on track, things are looking really good. So that'll be kind of a measurement tool that the stream team can use. And it will help us articulate just very achievable, short, timely goals each year at a time. So let's move on to, how do we make these action plans? How do we make it so we can achieve our tasks? We set action plans, right? So this is about, how will we get there? How will we know that the 3-year task down the road, that we can get there? Jan, did you have anything to add?
The only thing I would say is that we have the leaders of the streams, but really what we are looking for and hoping for is that every member is engaged in some part of one of those streams or multiple streams, depending on their interests. So that, first of all, we don't want to have stream leaders feel like they're overloaded because they have to do all the responsibility of it. We would really, as a club, we want to carry all of these goals, all of these streams, move them forward, get that, maybe I wouldn't say put the canoe in the water and row the boat, but I would say we want to keep moving that stream down to get it to the big river.
Absolutely. These are 3-year goals, so we don't have to, change the waters super fast, but just small drips to make really big changes, right?
Right.
So Rotary, the visioning team has also given us a great action plan sheet. So if you want to go to the next one, and this is a sheet in which it helps you just sort of refine and define the goals. Who's leading it? Who else is going to help? What sort of resources do we need? What would be a good start date? How long might it take? When's a good end date? And then very specifically, what are some of the tasks? That way it just helps to clear up the process so we know who's responsible and there isn't a confusion about what the task is.
And really what we're hoping for here is that inside of the streams, you'll have control of this. This is just to help your thought process and get it organized. Really, we're not going to be going back and giving you A, B, and C grades on any things like this. This is the work plan that the action plan is what the vision people gave us, which it's got good ideas in it for how to document what you're planning on doing. And I know this would be useful for me because frankly, most of the time I just try to sit in my head and then I forget stuff.
Yeah, it's all about, Jan and I are not the experts here. We just happen to gather all the resources together and now we're presenting them in a way.
That's correct.
We hope that everybody can come along with us. All right, so the next one is, how do you know you're there? What's the process and the outcome? We've really gone through the first three parts already with the visioning session, with the recap of the visioning. We outlined a little bit about where we wanted to be with these big vision goals, but how do we get there really is going to be our action plans. And how will we know when we have arrived? Part of that is about then setting, determining whether you have accomplished. How do you know if you achieve your goal? Where will we be in those 3 years? So part of that is thinking forward. I know when we did the visioning session, they asked us to use language like, we will be a club that has X number of members versus we hope to be, but have it be in that positive statement. So coming up with what does that outcome look like as part of this process as well. Jan.
Nope, I'm good. You're good.
All right. So what are the next steps here? The next steps are really to ask everybody here this is the fun, this is the dreaming section. This is where, if there's any of these places that resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you. It doesn't have to be right now, which is just fine, but Deb, myself, Jan, and Ed, as the current president-elect, and elect president, we are looking to help recruit and get these teams in a way, these stream teams all set up. So we'll work with you. But this is the time when it's really fun to start aligning some of the things that we're already currently doing with efforts with these streams of services to get us down to that 3-year vision. And we'll provide you with even more resources than you've seen today. So questions so far that way, Jan?
Nope, I think this is, this is the where we put the rubber to the road. In this case, it's put the boat in the water and launch ourselves. And again, we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to do what they want. And we know you joined this club for some good reason, and we want to make sure that we find that reason so that you are working where you want to support our communities, our people, our society.
Absolutely. So how do we know when we found success? That's the next slide here. So we will be having regular report meetings at our board and club, and they volunteered at the very beginning when we did our visioning session. They volunteered to be cheerleaders for all of us, to be dragon slayers, doers of amazing good work, and the team of fun and light, which is the Visioning Club champions, are Lauren, Ted, and Ed. The 3 of them stood up at the very end and waved their hand and said, absolutely, we want to make sure that we're successful. So there are also going to be 3 people who will be checking in regularly with these stream teams to add that extra motivation, extra support, because this is really an all club member action. It isn't just one particular team member. It isn't Jan or I, but it's everybody working together. So the last piece is, what questions do you have? And Jan and I will do our best to answer them.
How you get invite? How can you be a part of it? Do you have to wait for an invitation? Who do we connect with? How do we take that next step?
So the next step would be to let either myself or Deb or Ed or Jan know that you'd like to be involved in one of those particular areas. And then what we'll do is we will kind of make the list of where people said they are interested in taking a potential, either a leadership role or a team role. And then we'll evaluate that group from there and then ask people to officially join. Yes.
Can I think, Tom, you want to say first?
Well, I would just, what will be the timetable in terms of getting the streams organized, and when do you want to report from them?
All good questions. So I would say that once we have this meeting and people start to respond to us, let's give it probably by the end of this week. If you can let us know by the end of this week if you're interested in one of those. And then next week, or later this week, I can reach out to the rest of the 4 people and ask them when we can get together. And so from there, then we can decide on how quickly this process will move. I know that's kind of an all over the place answer, isn't it? A little bit. We're still developing it.
You know, and let me just, Jenny, to respond on that also. We're setting our own timeline. So if it turns out that we need a little more time than that, we can have it. And if we need a little, but once we start going and start getting organized, I would guess that we will find ourselves well on the way as Jenny is taking over her presidency on June 30th. By then, we should have all of our streams flowing and keeping going on down the road.
Okay, that makes sense.
I just wanted to say, I guess it's praise and then question. This Rotary Club really grows into me. I mean, more and more, I really love this Rotary Club. I think that many reasons, when I look at your faces even now, this Rotary Club has a history, good people. And I just really want us to go to next step with all this experience, good people in it with a good heart. And you are all in it. And I'm kind of a newcomer, so I will fit into any place that you're asking or I wanted to do. But I really have a great hope for this meeting and this future. And I'm so happy that I'm part of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jenny, I think another piece is that as we talked about our stream leadership, we're probably just talking out loud, thinking out loud. We probably bring that to the board and have the board endorse it as the current club leadership, and have the board kind of, and many of the people that might say, well, I want to be stream leader or something, or might already be active as a leader in our club. But I think that our board as the current governance structure would be a good place for us to also make sure that we are working within and along with their priorities.
I think that makes a lot of sense because we're really marrying, this is kind of the next stage within already the folks who are already sitting in leadership roles. So we're not trying to kick anybody out, I guess is what we're also trying to say.
I expect that they'll be leading too.
Yep.
This is Lynn. Thank you for the work that you have done. I was part of the visioning team, and to see it come through its processes to this point, I appreciate Jan and Jenny especially. I did have a question that plays off, Jenny, of what you just said, and that is there is a board structure with specific areas of responsibility, and I wondered how the streams interacted with that, or whether the board structure might change. For example, I know in the board there is a community involvement piece, and yet in the stream there's a community engagement piece. So I wondered if there might be some new forms of organization, or if you've thought about how those correlate with one another.
Stream two is club structure and size, and what that's talking about is exactly that. How do we structure our club? It's just not about when do we meet. It might be more about how we revise, or maybe not revise, but depending on what we decide, what our club structure should be. And it may be that it moves into a more of a 4-stream kind of discussion instead of, you know, the, should I say, 50 boxes on a page structure that we have today of responsibilities.
Thank you.
Jenny, I didn't mean to jump all over you there.
You're fine. You answered it well. Any other questions?
Man, we really did a great job.
Well, it was a fun process, and by no means are Jan and I the expert in these. We just basically took, you know, kind of those visions and helped set it to the next level. So we're all going to have different sort of leadership roles along the way, and we will be sort of transitioning this leadership, our leadership of this section, now to the selection of the stream teams with that board governing body, and then moving forward, it will be each of the stream team leaders who will be taking the ownership, and the team themselves ownership of those goals and really articulating those goals on a go forward basis.
And Jenny, I might have missed it. Did you say the slide deck that you just presented would be available?
Yeah, we can email that out. Kathy's got it, so absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. And as part of the stream team resource packet, we will include all of the visioning materials up to this point that we have, which would be the visioning session itself and the results from that, as well as these plans that they've included. So the visioning team has provided several resources that will continue to, that we will share along the way.
Jenny, can you reread your little quote on the seeds, please?
Oh, yeah. Let's see, where did I put that? It says, to plant a seed today is to believe in tomorrow.
Thank you.
So I really like that. I think that's a great place. And it reminded me, just as Anne was talking, and as we're thinking about this visioning, just that's what we're doing, right? You know, we're planting seeds today in the hope that tomorrow is going to be even better. All right, with that, Deb, I think we'll turn it back over to you.
I've got a question. Can I ask a question? I'm not quite sure how, but I know in the district, there's a group working on talking about things like, or the question of diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. How does that, or where does that fit in all of this? Is that membership or structure, or a little of everything, or what?
That usually falls under membership.
So I think it would fall under the, as Kathy just said, under membership, which kind of falls in two areas here: member retention, which is stream 1. The second one as well, because that is club structure. But as you probably alluded, it's something we need to be thinking about in every single stream, in all of our conversations, in engagement across all levels, whether that's engagement with our community, engagement with our peer members.
Yeah, okay,
So,
thank you.
Jenny, in addition to that, I really appreciate that question. So if some of us are really interested, and I know Don Salverda has been leading the way on this, on, you know, leadership development, character, you know, it's all the things that we want our club, we know our club is about. If we're interested in fostering that in our club members and for our club, with that, I don't have all the streams in front of me either. That looks like it might be a membership one then. I know that's infused in all of them as well, but just curious. Yeah.
I would say it would fall under club attributes, which would be the stream 1 under member retention. So those are our characters, you know, what our club looks like. Yeah.
And attention to members.
Attention.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I also feel like this really diversity, equity is also a priority that we're going to look at as we engage our communities. So how do we set priorities for the communities that we engage and support? Maybe there are some in our community who need more support than others, and it should be a lens for that, as well as for who are we, but also who do we serve.
Galen, do you had a question too?
Yes, Jenny, Might the slides be posted onto the club website? I know you said you're going to email those out to all the members, but once we get it emailed to us, if we don't remember where we filed it or wish to get it again sometime, it would be handy if there was like a library or repository on the website of our various documents. And as we achieve our goals and update those documents, to keep that updated on the website. At least I know that would be quite useful for myself anyway.
Me too.
What a great idea. Yeah, I think that sounds wonderful.
I have a question. Just a test question, inclusion and diversity. You know, everybody's looking at the number. We are having, even Minnesota now, 20% of our population is some sort of diverse community, and then 80. We're kind of changing over the years, and so that will really, we have to put our consideration into membership as well. So it's not like we're lagging and, you know, missing this opportunity to bring more diversity into our membership. So I'm extremely interested in that particular topic. So I think that it has to put that in to work with. I would.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. That would fall as something that would be under the club structure and the size as we think about our members. And yeah, sounds wonderful.
Any other input or questions? Well, thank you, Jenny and Jen. That was a wonderful presentation and very motivating. I'm eager to kind of dig through those slides again and see where my natural abilities might lie. So we don't have a meeting next week, correct? Jenny, are you able to tell us who will be speaking the week after that?
Yeah, the week after that is Greg Chamberlain. He's the regional vice president with Xcel Energy, and Xcel is having some shifts and changes a little bit in their business model. And so he's going to share with us what those look like.
Fabulous. Well, thank you. We will see everybody in 2 weeks. Our meeting is adjourned.